And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, my name is Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Heldentaufe. I think that's how you pronounce this. This is kind of like an adventure game, and it's really kind of aimed at kids. This is a game where you're going to be taking a young kid adventurer, and they're going to go around and try to fight fearsome monsters and go complete quests. So it's kind of like a little questing adventure style game with some really gorgeous components. But does that make it good? Let's find out. At the beginning of the game, each person is going to take a character. So you're going to get your character, and whichever character you take, you're going to fill them up with life points. So I'm going to put life points here. Each character has a special ability. They're a little bit different than other characters. This guy, the one that I've chosen here, has an extra point when he attacks somebody. So when you look at your character, on your character's turn, you're going to have 4 actions. And each character comes with their own little standee that they'll be using their actions for. You have actions here, 4 actions, but you might have more actions if you have boots. So there are different levels of boots. So let's say, for example, I have a level 2 boot here. I would get 6 actions. You can also make potions. You can make no potions at the beginning of the game, but if you increase your ring, that's a 3 ring, I can make 3 potions, or I can make up to level 3 potions, or maybe level 1. And then your attack here, you're always going to roll a die for attacking. This guy gets a +1, and then plus your sword here, so maybe it's a +1 or maybe a +3. As you collect other things, you can put them in your backpack. You can also collect different resources. You can see the different fish. You can only have so much room in your backpack, although one of the characters has a bigger backpack than everybody else. And when you get to resources, you notice that you can put them together. These two make the red potion. So if I have a potion skill where I can make the red potion, the level 1, I can make this potion and put it here in my backpack, and I can use these potions. You can also use these at any time you want. I can eat some fish or whatever, or apples or mushrooms to gain points back. It's pretty hard to die in this game. So what are you using your actions for? Well, players are going to start on this spot here, and when it's your turn, you can move for 1 action point. And when you move onto a new spot, there may be different things you can do in that spot. So here in the meadow, that's pretty much nothing. Okay, so maybe I move into a forest. When you move into a forest, after the forest has been discovered, nothing happens. But if you're the first person to discover a forest, you're going to roll a die. And here I've found a sword, or I might find a level 1 boot, or I might find a tooth. Teeth are how you win the game. So I'll find a tooth that's worth 1 point. There's a certain number of teeth, depending on the number of players, and that's how you win. So for example, if I was playing in, let's say I'm playing a 3-player game, I would need 16 victory points, and each of those teeth is worth 1 victory point. So you're going to be moving around. Maybe I'll find this spot here. That spot is going to let me trade different things. So I might trade a level 1 boot for a level 2 boot. There's a lot of different forests in the thing. Sometimes, though, I'll find a portal which will let me go to the underworld, and that's over here. When you're in the underworld, you're going to be able to fight monsters. Now, when you fight a monster, each monster is going to have a certain number of hit points on them. So these guys have hearts too. So this one here has 3 hearts. The one above it has 3 hearts. And you'll notice there's a pile of teeth next to these monsters. These are the stats of the monsters. So this is how many hit points that they have. And whenever you defeat a monster, you get the top tooth. So this one here is worth 2 points. The next one's worth 3, 4, 5. So one of the monsters will start with 1 through 5. One starts with 2 through 5. One starts with 3 through 5. But as you take out the teeth of a monster, that monster is going to get extra bonus on the die roll. Here he gets an extra heart and an extra bonus, an extra heart and +2, and an extra heart and +3. It gets harder and harder to hurt these monsters. So if you're in here, you can fight the monsters. You simply roll a die. Another player rolls a die for the monster. You'll add any benefits. And if you lose, you'll lose hearts. And if you win, you'll knock the monster down hearts. And if you take out the monster's last heart, you'll get the top tooth of that monster. And that's pretty much what you're doing down here. There's also a treasure tile, and the first person to get to that treasure tile is going to get to roll the die 3 times and take the treasures that are found there. Now, Why are players doing this? How do you kind of determine what you're going to do? Remember, you need a certain amount of teeth. So you're going to go around, you're going to find portals. You might find other resources. Like here's where if you land on this tile, you can take as many fish as you want. If you land on this tile, you can upgrade your weapons. Or you can upgrade your weapons into better things or upgrade your boots and so on. But players are going to have these cards. So on your turn, you have a certain number of actions. So this character, for example, with the 2 boots, have 6 actions. Moving 1 spot counts as an action, and you can move as much as you want unless you like run into trees, in which case you're done. But you can also discard one of these cards and draw a new one. Each player is going to have a couple of these cards, and this is the whole game revolves around these. If you do something, so this says, if you take a red potion to a green thing, you'll get a double sword. This says if I'm fighting a monster and I use a mushroom, I'll get +2 on my weapon. But many of these are going to give you points. This says if I step on a trap, and there are some trap tiles that will be down, there's certain tiles that are down in the underworld, and you flip them over, and this one is fine. But some of them will have a trap and make you lose a life point. Well, if that happens to me, I'm going to get 2 points. Here, if I steal from another player, land another player, I get a point. Here, if I take a boot and upgrade it at that spot, I'll get 2 points. So there's all sorts of things that you can get points for or just get other upgrades and things like that. And so this is one of the main ways to get points, and fighting monsters is the other way. You can also fight another player if you want to. If you make another player die, lose their last life point, then you can switch all your teeth with them. Now, dying here is at the end of the world. When you lose your last life point, you simply go back to camp and lose all the stuff that's in your inventory, and you kind of start over, but you don't lose your points. And that's it. You're going to keep going until someone gets a certain number of points, and whoever does that is the winner. The game comes with a nice plastic insert, and you can see it fits everything inside it very nicely. The components for this game, I mean, I love the artwork for this game. The monsters are like scary monsters, but they're not ultimately terrifying. The artwork for the kids, the quality of this game is just really top notch. You got lots of tiles here, different kinds of tiles. I like the teeth, the different sizes, how they all sit on each other like this. That works really well. And how as you take them off, you're seeing the bonuses the monster gets and the possibility they have an extra life point. And then on the back, just how many points each of them is worth. Really good. Even this, how to combine these is a really nice touch because you just put the same colors together. These two can be combined to make a blue potion. These two can be combined to make a yellow potion. And that's just an easy, nice system. And even if that doesn't help, this shows you what each potion does. By the way, this one fills your life back up. This one gives you +2 in attacking. And this one lets you teleport somewhere. So then these also show what you can do at the different locations. So having these reference cards, and the cards are really good quality. And again, kind of raving about the artwork. You know, the artwork on these cards looks great. So overall, this is a really top-notch production. So the first time I played this, I really played with the wrong mindset because I thought, hey, you know, this looks like a great game, great components. I played with a bunch of adults and everyone said, this is kind of simple. Yeah, it is kind of simple. It's a game to be played with kids and meant for kids. And in that aspect, it does work really well. As you can see, the components for this game are incredible, but the rules are pretty simple. You're moving around, kids are going to go and like, ooh, I found this, I got this. They understand you have this many actions. What are your actions that you can do? You can move, you can switch a card out to get a new card, or you can fight. Pretty simple. And the most complex thing for kids is going to be understanding the different icons on those mission cards. They're not the clearest thing in the world. Sometimes like, what does that mean? So you have to look it up. But the fighting is simple. The finding things, as you watch, that board with the hexes is going to grow. Kids will like that. Transporting down to the underworld. There's, I think, 5 different tiles that would transport you to different spots. When you're down there, after kids move, this token is going to be placed between players. And this shows when that comes around, you're going around a table, this is when the monsters move. And the players who are not down in the dungeon area, they're the ones who pick the monsters, and monsters have 4 actions and they will attack too. And that's just fun for everybody. Everyone's involved all the time. There is a good chunk of luck in this game, right? You go to a forest and, ooh, I got a victory point. I got a sword. I go to another forest. I got another sword. I don't want another sword. I want boots, you know. But having a character who has a unique thing, one character starts with 5 actions, one character has a bigger backpack, one starts with a sword, one character can start making potions right away. This sense of exploration and discovery, it's not deep, but it's kind of right there where kids are at. They're really going to like this one. So for me, this is one I would really recommend. It looks fun, and it is fun. There's a lot of nice choices. It doesn't outstay its welcome. You need a certain number of points. Eventually someone's going to get them. Like if you hit a monster and get that 5, that's like half the points you need sometimes for some of the games. That's going to make a game go pretty quickly, and yet when it's done, kids are going to feel like they had a satisfying experience. So recommend this one for families for sure. That's Heldentaufe. Dice Tower Judgment, fun for kids.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!